What's up, fellow bookworms, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dylan, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at the all-new Kindle Scribe. The Kindle Scribe is the newest addition to the already impressive Kindle lineup that includes the new version of the Kindle Basic, the Kindle Paperwhite, and the Kindle Oasis. And as always, the main thing I think you need to know about the Kindle Scribe, first and foremost, is the price. The sticker price on this thing is not for the faint of heart. The cheapest option is $340, while the most premium Kindle Scribe goes for as high as $420. And by the time Uncle Sam collects his dues,
tell him to bring me my money.
You're looking at about $450. And then, if you want an official Amazon case, you can expect to spend around $500. So for a Kindle with such a high price tag, what exactly are we getting, and is it worth it? But before we answer that question and get into the entire in-depth review, I just want to take a really quick second to say, first and foremost, if you haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me, and I would really appreciate it. I do a lot of Kindle content around here, as well as a lot of book content. So if you like reading, this is definitely the place to be, and I would love to have you. And secondly, if you are in the market for a new Kindle, whether it's the Scribe or any other of the great options available, please consider shopping through the links in the description below. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it does not change your buying experience in any way at all. The only difference is Amazon will give me a couple % commission for referring you to their website. It's a really simple and easy way to support the channel, and I would truly appreciate it. Again, all the links are going to be in the description below. Out of the box, you can expect the Kindle itself, a pen, either the basic or the premium, and more on that in just a second, replacement tips or nibs for that pen, and a USB-C charging cable. The first thing you notice about the Scribe when you take it out of the box is just how massive it really is. Compared to, say, the Oasis, which now boasts the second largest display in the Kindle lineup at 7 inches, the Scribe looks absolutely massive. But having such a large device does come at a cost. While the Scribe is great on a desktop or a tabletop, it really does become quite inconvenient to hold it outright for any extended period of time. Add to that the fact that it basically becomes immobile and very unwieldy to use unless, again, you're sitting at a desk or using some sort of tabletop. But to be fair, a good-sized hardback can weigh about the same. The reason that text and images always look so crystal clear is because the Scribe boasts an all-glass 300 pixels per inch display that is so bright it rivals the literal sun. Okay, maybe not really, but it's so bright because it boasts 35 LEDs which illuminate every nook and cranny of this beautiful display. So that means that the display will always be bright and clear no matter how bright or dark a place you may be reading. Additionally, the Scribe has an auto brightness feature, but in my experience, it can be a bit slow to adjust, so I typically leave it off and just manually adjust the brightness if and when needed. But my favorite thing about the display on the new Kindle Scribe is honestly probably just the warm light feature. This is nothing new, it's on the Paperwhite and it's on the Oasis, but it truly is a game changer. The adjustable warm light filters out some of the very little blue light that the Kindle emits, which makes your reading experience much easier on the eyes, much more calming, and just generally nicer for reading, specifically at night, at least in my experience. And when we flip the device over, we see a really simple and sleek backing. This is made entirely of aluminum, and the color is called tungsten gray. But for anyone who is familiar with Apple products, this is going to look a lot like space gray, which is kind of the standard color for most Apple products. There are also 4 little rubber feet that keep the device in place as you both read and or write, which is really nice. Now for the pen that we talked about a moment ago. As I said, there are currently 2 options. There's the standard pen, and then there is what's called the premium pen. And truthfully, the only difference between this premium pen and the standard pen is $30 and 2 buttons. The first button is this one, and it allows you to easily change between, say, writing and highlighting. You can customize what this little button does in the settings menu. Just click on pen settings and it is the literal only option. But then the second button that's on this pen is a little less buttony, but it is still kind of a button. It's this built-in eraser. It's kind of spring-loaded and honestly feels very strange to use because this pen is a pretty hard plastic and the screen is glass. And every instinct I have tells me not to rub hard plastic on a glass display. But it works and I haven't noticed any scratches yet. The premium pen comes standard with the 32 and 64 gigabyte versions of the Scribe, but if you're going with the 16 gigabyte version, my advice is this. Don't worry about upgrading the pen unless you are a hardcore note taker. It's pretty easy to manually swap between writing, highlighting, or erasing, so I would honestly just save my $30. So that's the hardware side of things, and I have to say everything looks and feels very premium on the Kindle Scribe. If you're familiar with the Kindle, then this interface is probably going to look very familiar. In fact, nothing really has changed. We have the Home tab, the Library tab, and then a miniature version of the last book we were reading. Tapping that just takes us back to where we left off on the last book we were reading. But then we have these two new tabs. The first one is called Notebooks, and the other is called More. The Notebooks tab allows you to quickly create a new notebook or a new folder containing already created notebooks. And as you can see, there are a lot of templates to choose from. I honestly just default to the first one, the lined notebook paper looking template. But you could honestly probably spend an hour going through all of the available templates, and I'm sure they all have a specific purpose. But for doodling or making quick little notes, I just go for the standard ruled paper look. And really, not much needs to be said about the notebook feature. What you see is what you get. If you've ever used a pen and paper before, then you already know everything you need to know about making notes on the Kindle Scribe. You can write, you can highlight, and you can erase. Now, you'll notice that books on the Scribe are going to look identical to books on any other Kindle device. You can still customize your reading experience by increasing or decreasing the font, changing the orientation of the page, adjusting the margins, and so forth. You can also turn on page turn animations, which I think uses a little bit extra battery, but it is definitely worth it, at least to me. The only new thing that you're going to see on the Scribe is this little floating icon. Tapping this icon is what allows you to create a new sticky note when you read. Which kind of leads me into my biggest complaint about the Scribe, and it's this. You cannot annotate directly on the page of a book. When I heard about the Kindle Scribe, the main thing that I wanted to do was doodle on the page of a book or underline words or highlight phrases, but unfortunately, that is only available when marking up PDFs, not when actually reading an ebook. Sadly, the only way to make handwritten notes in a book is with sticky notes. It does keep everything looking nice and neat, which is good, but it still feels extremely unsatisfying. Now, with manga and graphic novels, just like with books, there's nothing new with the Scribe. The only difference is that the image is much larger, which is obviously a good thing. You can still double tap to open up panel view, which I think is really neat, especially if you're reading a manga or a graphic novel that has several panels on one page. Unfortunately, you cannot add sticky notes or make any highlights in manga, graphic novels, or in magazines. So with all that in mind, let's revisit the question we asked at the outset. Is the Kindle Scribe worth it? I have to say no, at least not as of right now. If you work with PDFs a lot, or if you are an artist, or if you're just someone who takes a lot of notes or just likes to doodle, then maybe the Scribe would be worth it for you. Or if your eyesight just isn't what it used to be and you need a much larger display, and money is no object, then perhaps the Scribe is a good fit. But for now, I think unfortunately what we have is some really great hardware, some pretty average software, and a kind of mediocre user experience. And please don't forget, if you are shopping for a new Kindle, please consider using the links in the description below. It would help the channel out a lot, and I would truly, truly appreciate it. And please, let me know your thoughts on the new Kindle Scribe in the comments below. Have you gotten your hands on one yet, or are you just kind of still shopping around? I would love to hear your take on the Scribe, your first impressions, your experience with the device. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.